live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective to current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media, providing you the timely truths centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, all types of home services, and so much more. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, Tampa Bay's #1 consumer activist. Now, we are a consumer advocate and a consumer activist. We want to help you win in any marketplace. That's the goal of this show, and I've got an all-star lineup here in studio to help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
And this segment is brought to you by Freedom Boat Club. It's the official recreation partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Say hello to Mike Craig over at Hula Bay location down there in South Tampa. Freedom Boat Club, a great opportunity, 13 locations here in the Tampa Bay market. Show up, take the boat out, bring your cooler. Don't worry about insurance. Don't worry about if it breaks down, all those types of things. The best 2 days of a boater's life, when you buy it, when you sell it, right? That's the old joke. So shouts out Freedom Boat Club. Also, Hula Bay is our official restaurant partner. And I've got a couple of hot listings we're going to touch on as well. Some brand new listings. Got a penthouse on Indian Shores we're going to touch on. And a lot of geopolitical things happening in the news. We got Greece, we got Iran, we got China, a lot of issues happening. So Jason's going to weigh in on that as well. And we got Michael Lisinko, our Safe Money coach, going to be calling in. But first up, we're going to be talking to Adrienne Falcone Godsell. She is the food whisperer. I'm very excited, very proud to have you on the Real Estate Quarterback roster now, and very passionate about health myself. So welcome into the studio.
Thank you, Brandon. It's awesome to be here, and I'm glad to be part of the team. We're going to have some interesting conversation today. We'll talk about the 5 hidden evil baddies. If we're going to be worried about the economy and if we're going to be sweating things and we want to eat healthy, maybe these will help you get on that right path.
That's right. Yeah. What else do you have in this world if you don't have your health?
That's
your
right.
business, none of that matters if you're not healthy. And that's why I'm so proud to have you as a partner now. And we'll talk more about that. Some of the awesome meals that you're cooking for me and putting together, and all the fun events that you put on, the teaching classes. So also repeat offender back in studio, Mr. Justin Matthews.
Great to be back, Brandon. Today we're going to talk a little bit about air conditioning. Obviously, it's very important to have here in Florida this time of year. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that can happen in the summertime, especially where an air conditioner fails, and kind of the small things as to what a customer or a client can do for their own home to keep it running, and kind of the things to watch out for, and not get advice from someone that doesn't really know what they're talking about. We'll go over that a little bit more, though.
Yeah, people just wanting to get in your pocket.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times you want to say,
Come on, man.
So Jason, our co-host as well, Jason Salmon, the Wolf, in studio.
Yes, today we got another edition of Ask the Real Estate Quarterback, as well as some other news in business and real estate, so stay tuned.
Yeah, excellent. Let's jump into this content. I got a couple of hot listings. I just listed a penthouse here at 19451 Gulf Boulevard, number 803. It's on the 8th floor, Indian Shores. Beautiful property, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's almost 1,500 square feet, breathtaking intercoastal views, and also views of the beach as well. So at $369,000, a great property here, and you want to take a look at that. Also, 5506 Beeman Dew Loop in Land O'Lakes. Beautiful property, 4-bedroom, 5 and 1/2 bath. It's a $1.275 million listing, custom-built high-end home on gorgeous Lake Thomas in a private gated community. And if you're on YouTube out there, just pull up 5506 Beeman Dew Loop. You'll see this beautiful drone video that Darren Moretti with Droneography put together for me. And also have a drone video here at 219 18th Avenue and Indian Rocks Beach. Great buying opportunity, another 2-bedroom, 2-bath townhome. $570,000, and you have the ability to moor up to a 65-foot vessel at this beautiful property in Indian Rocks Beach. Literally a 2-minute walk across the Gulf Boulevard there, and you're on the sugar sand beaches of South Florida, and you can enjoy this beautiful weather. All right, let's jump into this. Let's talk to Adrienne here. Adrienne Falcone Godsell, the food whisperer. She's a holistic personal chef and food health advocate. So, tell us a little bit more. Give us an overview.
Well, when we're talking about food and we're talking about health, it's two things that nobody really likes to put together. They kind of just go, no, no, no. But I mean, food is health. That's how we live. So I've just put all my passion into finding ways to make food taste good and be good for you. And since nobody has time to cook, I
That's
found
right.
simple, quick, easy ways to do that.
That's right. Yeah, it's
So, yeah.
awesome. I really enjoy it, and I'm very, happy that we were able to, get together and put together this health segment. Because again, what else do you have in your life if you don't have your health? And these days, it's easier to choose the healthy options, and when you take it to the step that you do, I mean, I'm very excited about these meals that you're putting together for me.
Thank you.
All of the organic, the chicken, the quinoa, all the different types of veggies that you're putting in there, and it actually tastes great.
Thanks. Thanks.
So, yeah.
It's fun, and people are intimidated, I think, by vegetables and having to cook them or thinking what's horrible or awful. And so I like to know from my clients what they like and what they don't like, and that's really where I am different from other chefs. Is tell me what you don't like. I'm not going to sit here and be offended. If I'm serving you,
Right.
then what good is it for me to say, oh, I have these fabulous dishes, and you're like, oh, it tastes horrible. I don't like this. So you got to
Yeah.
tell me so I don't be a repeat offender.
No, yeah, absolutely. And so let's talk about these foods to avoid here, or actually the 5 evil baddies. Let's jump into that first.
5 evil baddies.
Yeah.
If anybody, what I like to do when I'm doing my corporate wellness seminars is help people find ways to eat healthier. And the biggest thing, especially in today's economy, people are worried about things. Oh, it costs so much to be organic. It costs so much. You walk into Whole Foods and you have at least a $50 cover charge before you're allowed to leave.
Yeah, right.
So that's what we like to joke around about. But how can you do it? So I start with, okay, well, these are the 5 things. Start picking through these things in your regular grocery store and your regular everyday shopping. So high fructose corn syrup. It's in everything.
Yeah.
It's not in everything. It's in probably about 90% of everything that's out there, conventional foods. So what's so terrible about it? It's just the fact that, and this is all common everyday reading that you can find. It's not something that's hidden in little freaky health food things that you have to dig through. But high fructose corn syrup is so refined that it actually goes directly into the cell, creating fatty liver. How many people have high cholesterol these days?
Me.
I mean, there are children that even have high cholesterol, and it's because of these imbalances that are going on.
Yeah.
So you have high fructose corn syrup. The next one that I like to talk about is artificial sweeteners. Well, if I'm not going to have sugar, then I'll have artificial sweeteners.
Right.
Artificial sweeteners would start back in the day when I was a kid. You had diet sodas,
Yep.
right? We had the artificial sweeteners. We had diet sodas. It's not diet soda anymore. Has anybody really realized that? It's not being called that. It's being called 0 calorie.
Yeah.
It's being called calorie free. It's also saying it's not meant. It's not that diet category anymore.
Yeah.
And again, it's because our brains are still hardwired to back when we were cavemen and the saber-toothed tigers were running after us.
Yeah.
And we'd be picking berries off because we need to have energy to be running and everything else. Our brains associate sweet and calories. So we're getting this sweet.
Yep.
We're not getting the calories from it, which means we're overeating, and our brain is still looking for that. So that's why you're not really seeing skinny people drinking all these diet calorie-free sodas anymore, is because the artificial sweeteners, our brain still needs the calorie to go with it.
You brought up a great point, because I've watched a lot of these documentaries as well on the food industry, and the foods are engineered to be crunchier and all those different types of
Sweeter,
things.
saltier.
Sweeter.
You're exactly right. It's
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
meant to kind of set off your taste buds in order to kind of like entrap you and kind of make you addicted
Yeah.
to those
Yes.
type of foods. It's perfectly keyed up to exactly like how your tongue works, and so then in turn you're addicted to those foods.
Right. When all you have to do is, if you're eating fruits and vegetables, and just go back to
Saber-toothed
nature.
tiger times.
Yes, go back to nature.
That's
Right.
right.
And then see, our bodies are starving, which kind of can segue into
Yeah.
bleached white flour, which is another one of my evil baddies, because
Yep.
again, it's so refined. Being a chef, being in culinary, the flour, of course, was one of those things that was processed to begin with, because the more refined it was, the longer it could last.
Yep.
But then also, that's how you're getting these beautiful white cakes and having all these wonderful things happening. But
Yeah.
we've lost all the nutrients because of it.
Yeah.
And which leads into the refined sugar or processed anything. Again, our bodies are starving. That's why we can eat a bag of Doritos. That's why we can eat a whole bag of potato chips. That's why we go through so many, juices or whatever is out there, is because our body is searching for those nutrients.
Yeah.
And then the last one would be MSG.
Yeah, MSG, and that's So this is Adrian Falcone Godsell, the Food Whisperer. If you want to find out more information, realestateradiotampa.com. You can see links to all of our preferred partners there as well. And, give us a call. Text into the Consumer Advocate Hotline. Again, that phone number is 813-917-1894. We want you to save that number. Yeah, and this definitely hits home. We just lost a friend of ours, lost his daughter, 9 years old, to cancer, and we just raised a lot of money for Children's Cancer Center. So this definitely hits home. I see the kids. A lot of times it's the parents are in a hurry. They're going to swing through McDonald's, whatever it might be. Right. But a lot of the kids, they don't understand it. They're malnutrition.
Yes.
They're undernutrition. They're not getting. If you're not eating from the rainbow, so to speak, right? The different colors, the veggies, the fruits. So parents out there, we want you to step it up. Let's leave a better legacy. Let's help our kids. Let's stay out of those hospitals. Our hospitals are overcrowded. The immigration stuff. You had Trump coming out talking about the immigration and a lot of the effects. But our hospitals are overcrowded. And what a way to create a living legacy for your children is to teach them how to eat right. And we're going to talk about an offer as well that Adrian has coming up in the coming segments here as well. We've got Michael Lisenko. He's our Safe Money coach. He's going to be calling in, talking about the effects of Greece, the socialistic economy that they have, China, Iran, some of these geopolitical stories happening in the news. Also, Justin Matthews. And we're going to talk about real estate boom not over. Blackstone expert says at Alpha CNBC interview. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I'm a top listing agent in Tampa Bay, featured in Florida Realtor Magazine multiple times, recognized for my innovations with marketing, search engine optimization, YouTube video marketing. Got a radio show, TV show now, and a all-star lineup in studio. This is Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks in studio, and we want you to walk away from this show with something of substance. So we're going to hear from Michael Lisenko. He's our Safe Money coach calling in. I've got a couple of hot listings I want to touch on before we jump into this content. We've got 1938 Barbara Avenue in Clearwater, Florida. This is a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath property, Sunset Highlands, and it's $169,000, just reduced about $10,000. And the owner's motivated. This is a great property, nice starter home. It's redone, done on the inside, and a beautiful property. Get into the home buying game while the mortgage rates are still low. Save some money. Also, 0 Rowan Road in Newport Richey. This is a great development opportunity. This is a $2.185 million listing here in Newport Richey, 0 Rowan Road. It's Tampa Tarpon Springs Land Company area, and it's just listed prime opportunity for development. So if you know of any business owners, any developers out there, please have them reach out. And also, we got 0 Merlin Drive in Newport Richey. This is Hidden Lake Estates. This is a lot that you have. It's reduced down to $89,000 for this lot. You build your dream home and an airplane hangar on this beautiful wooded lot. And also, shouts out to Captain Will Smith, Tampa Executive Flight Center, Vision Aviation, teaching me how to fly, getting my pilot license. So this is a great opportunity at some point in my life. I'd love to have a property where I have my airplane in my hangar outside. So what a great way to enjoy this Tampa Bay marketplace. So you're listening to a Real Estate Quarterback Show. We want you to check out realestateradiotampa.com and save our consumer advocate hotline number in your phone. Any of this great advice, any of these information that you're listening to, we want you to reach out. We want to engage you. With this show, we have a QAA formula. Now, as listeners, you're going to have questions. We're going to provide you answers, but ultimately, we want to give you these action items where you can live a better life, leave a better legacy for your family. So I asked a lot of geopolitical stuff going on, as we talked about. We've got a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace. And again, we want you to walk away from this show with something of substance. So I asked Michael Lisenko, he's our Safe Money coach. I asked him to call in and update us on things happening out there in the market. Michael, what do you make of all this stuff going on, man?
All I can say, Brandon, is no direction.
Yeah.
It's up one day, down the next. Investors are very nervous. It's got a lot of stuff going on out there, and really most of we have no control over.
Yeah. Cubby talks about, those things that you're concerned with, but ultimately, what can you control? So as a consumer advocate and consumer activist here, a lot of folks pull money out of their paycheck, put it in their 401k, and they call that a retirement plan. I call it a good start. But what we want to do is we want to talk to Michael. We want to take a look at your holdings. Now is the, unprecedented times that we're living in. We've got low mortgage rates. We've got things happening. The stock market's on a run, and seems like it's been going up. And, the old adage there is what goes up must come down at some point. So I think we're still at the longest time in history, or the third longest time in history without a correction. Is that right, Michael?
That's the third longest. It's 6+ years going on without a correction. Even not a lot of mini corrections that we usually see, 5-10% corrections. It's just been basically put money in, leave it alone, and watch it grow. And I think because we have such short-term memories, we forget the pains of 2001 and 2007. And, again, we're 7 years closer to retirement. We're closer to the years where we need to start using the money for other things than investing, called living on. We really need to look at safe opportunities to protect what we've earned, to protect what it's grown to. And I loved what you just said a minute ago. I think what most people do, good start. Most people buy products. Most people get into the hottest thing or the latest thing. But very few people really have a plan to continue to grow their money, protect what they've earned, and then ultimately start driving an income from that, or generating an income from that for retirement.
Yeah, and that's what you're an expert at, helping people do, is taking a small piece of that paycheck and putting it away, putting it into a growth pattern, something that you can engage them with and help them live a better life. And again, that's the goal of this show. We want to help our listeners. We're one of the few places that you can avoid all that commission breath. It seems everywhere you turn, you got commission breath flowing at you. And with the misinformation that's in the news, the misinformation on the internet, where do you trust? What do you do? So ultimately, we want you to reach out. We want to to engage you and have you sit down with Michael for a free consultation. Convenient offices over in Hillsboro, West Hillsboro Avenue, Town and Country, or Michael will make house calls and come out and meet with you. And there's a lot of people have these junk drawer full of assets, and they picked them up at a different time in their life. You can't trust a lot of the advice out there. We talked about that before. A lot of these so-called wealth advisors aren't fiduciaries, and what that basically means is that they don't have to put your well-being ahead of theirs. They can sell you stuff that they're going to make more commission on versus someone like Michael, who is an actual fiduciary.
That's correct, and we sit down with the nice thing is that we don't work for any particular company. We actually work for our clients. We represent probably 70 of the biggest financial institutions out there. So if they see something they like, we can certainly structure a program to get them into where they want to be. There's a lot of things that people can be doing and they're not doing. We need to focus on protecting money from market risk. We need to focus on protecting money against taxes, both now and in the future. We need to focus on protecting money from longevity risk, making sure you don't outlive your money. There's just a lot of things today in our society that we've never had to really deal with before that really determines the quality of life people are going to live when they choose not to work anymore.
Sure. And Michael, I think one of the incredible things that you do in comparison to some of these others is this is very customizable to the stage you are in life. You could be just starting out in the workforce and maybe actually thinking about planning for retirement, which many of the younger generation are not, or you could be part of that baby boomer generation that's getting ready to retire and really needs a true plan right now, before it is too late. And so I think that's one of the big things that Michael does, is that it's fully customizable to not only where you are in life but what you want to do.
That's right, and we can do college funding for kids. We can do help people if they want to invest in real estate, create a plan to have money available to do that. There's just so many things that we can help people with, and we don't charge for our services. The companies that we actually hook people up with will pay us for putting the plans together, so we can really have a sit down and have a nice conversation with the clients, figure out what they want to do, and then we go to work to figure out where's the best place for them to have their money.
Yeah, you want to call an audible, establish a game plan.
Omaha!
So let's do this. For the first 5 listeners who want to go ahead and take action and engage and help live a better life, plan that legacy, let's go ahead and have you reach out. Text Safe Money to our Consumer Advocate hotline. For the first 5 listeners who text Safe Money, we're going to set you up with Michael Lisenko. He's our Safe Money coach and can definitely put together that game-winning plan. That's what we want to do. We want to quarterback these introductions for you to help you live a better life. Michael, thanks for calling in. Appreciate the update.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
You too, man.
All right, bye.
Okay, we've got about a minute left here, but Justin Matthews, co-owner of AN Services, let's kind of tease next segment here. What are we going to talk about?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about air conditioning. It's one of those things that you kind of take for granted. You get home, you open the door, and all of a sudden it's hotter than you expected. And we're going to go over a couple of reasons as to why that happens, especially when it's 90 to 100 degrees outside. Your house gets very hot very quickly, and you don't know who to turn to. So we're going to give you a little advice as to how to keep that running a little bit longer than normal, how to get a maintenance done on the system, and what parts that really can fail that are kind of more maintenance wear and tear items than something that normally would break.
Excellent. Yes. Real estate boom not over. Blackstone expert says at Alpha. CNBC article just came out, and Jason and I are going to weigh in on that as well. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, Crushcraft Marketing. I want to remind you, we got a relationship out there with Warwick Dunn Charities. One of the best former athletes, in my opinion, helped over 143 single-parent homes attain home ownership through his Betty's Hope program, and Warwick Dunn Charities. Shouts out to Warwick Dunn.
Warwick Dunn. Warwick spins to the 10. He's to the 5, 4, 2. Touchdown.
Also, this segment brought to you by the Maids Cleaning Service. Do a great job cleaning my properties. They show up with 4 folks. They're in and out. Do a great job. Come home, the house is smelling great. I love that smell, and the Maids do a wonderful job. You see their cars around town here with the Maids branding on it. And before we jump back in this great content, we got Adrian Falcone Godsell, the Food Whisperer, in studio. We got Justin Matthews, co-owner of And Services Air Conditioning, and Jason, as always, the co-host here, Jason the Wolf Solomon. And I want to touch on a couple of hot listings here. I got this one just fell out of contract, so it's a great opportunity around the $100,000 price point, $1,099 to be exact. 13618 Greenfield Drive, number 306 in Tampa. This is a great property. It's in the Carrollwood Greenfield mid-rises here. 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath opportunity here. Just reduced, traditional sale, not a short sale. Great opportunity to buy. Also have 27730 Sugarloaf Drive in Wesley Chapel. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property. Great starter home right there. The little waterfront in the back. And it's $192,000 for this Sugarloaf property in Wesley Chapel. And also have a couple of listings on Corey Avenue here in St. Pete Beach. Have you ever wanted to own your own hotel? Well, I've got a great opportunity for you. It's 636 Corey Avenue in St. Pete Beach, literally a 2 to 3 minute walk, and you're on the sugar sand beaches of sunny Tampa Bay. Also got a pocket listing here at Gulf Winds Drive, St. Pete Beach. This is ability to build 12 townhouses at 6705 Gulf Winds Drive in St. Pete Beach. So let's jump into this great content. Again, we've got some intelligent folks in studio. Justin Matthews, a repeat guest on the show. And I want to talk about, this time of year, great opportunity to go ahead and do some of that preemptive strikes against your air conditioning that may fail.
Absolutely. Obviously, maintenance being a very important part of your air conditioner, just like anything else. It's like your vehicle. You wouldn't go 30, 40,000 miles without changing the oil. An air conditioner, especially in Florida, should be maintained at least once a year, possibly twice, depending on how much debris or something, trees, dirt, and debris, anything could get inside that outside unit of the air conditioning system. There's a couple of things that are pretty common in the industry of things that fail, especially in the summertime when your air conditioner is working extremely hard. First being what's called a float switch. The float switch, what it does is basically it comes up onto the PVC pipe outside of the inside unit, which is called your air handler. And a lot of times that PVC pipe gets full of water, gunk, grime. Lizards get in there, snakes sometimes. And what happens is this gets clogged up, and the water, what it's going to do is it's going to flow back into the pipe, and it's going to make this little buoy here go to the top, which in turn shuts off your air conditioner. And why that's important, especially if your air conditioner's in your attic or on your second floor, what'll happen if you don't have what's called the float switch here is the water will back up into the air handler. It'll flood the actual unit, and then you'll start seeing water damage on your ceiling, walls, things of that nature. So this little device is very, very important, but it is the reason that an air conditioner stops working most of the time in Florida. It's removing that condensation from the home with the inside air handler, and it's going to flow the excess moisture and stuff into this little piece of material. And what it's going to do is it's going to clog up in the summertime if you don't have routine maintenance.
Yep.
It's pretty simple. A lot of people, even a couple of people here today, were telling me, I heard that you're supposed to put bleach down that pipe. And it's a corrosive material. The air handler is basically the lungs of your air conditioning system, so it is the air that you breathe. You really don't want to breathe bleach. So I would suggest white vinegar. It's biodegradable. It does the same thing.
There you go.
White vinegar and boiling hot water is basically what you want to use to get that thing free and clear. A shop vac. They're very simple things that you can do. And a lot of times, if you don't know anything about air conditioning, the technician that comes out there, or a lot of times salesmen, they're going to come out and talk about things that you may or may not know what they're talking about. So it's easy to get taken advantage of in your own home when it's hot. You're making a decision that's uncomfortable. You don't want to have to make it, but you really at that point feel like I have to do something.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the advice of the guy that's out here. He seems knowledgeable. And typically, if you think about it, salesmen are very, very smooth talkers. So they're going to sell you something not knowing about air conditioning, it's easy to fall into that trap.
Yeah.
The second thing that most commonly goes wrong with an air conditioner is this thing right here. It's basically the battery for your fan outside and your compressor and air conditioning system. And a lot of times it's a battery, so it's not meant to last forever. Your car battery, your battery in your remote control at home, anything that has a battery is going to die at some point. So when this capacitor here gets low, it's good to have knowledge of that, hey, my capacitor is getting low. It's probably a good idea to replace that before it becomes an issue. My air conditioner stops working. My house gets hot. I get home from work. I have to jump through hoops to get it back and running the same day. So another very, very simple part. And if you don't know anything about it, you can think that this could look like a rocket ship, or it could be as simple as a 9-volt battery.
That's what I was going to say.
That's really how simple it really is. And like I said, if you don't know anything about air conditioning, the salesman or technician that comes into your home can sell you very easily that I can have you up and running in no time. Just give me a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, unfortunately, the sales guy that comes out there tells you, well, it's old. It's a Freon-based system, which is obsolete. It's definitely got to be replaced. There's no fixing it. You can't get the parts. It's not real. I mean, you can get parts for anything. We've seen 30, 40-year-old air conditioners that are still running. A lot of them are basic parts, like a capacitor or a float switch, that the technician a lot of times will tell you, oh, I can't get that part anymore. And as a consumer, you're going to say, well, what are my other options? I have to have air conditioning. I live in Florida, and it's 95 degrees in my house.
Right.
So their options are call someone else. Don't always take that first guy's opinion.
Exactly.
We do offer free second opinions, free estimates. We want you to make sure you are making the right decision. It is a lot of money. It is uncomfortable. No one likes to make that decision when they have to make a decision. That's the worst time to make it, because you make a hasty decision and then you get buyer's remorse because you feel like, did I really need to do that? Was it really good price? Do I trust the guy that came out here? Always get a second opinion. We do it for free. You want to look at the reputation of your company. You never know who you're letting in your house. It is your home. They do work for you. Make sure you know what they're doing. Make sure they know what they're doing. Ask a couple of routine questions, basic. Make sure they're qualified to be in your home. Don't just take it for granted.
Yeah, absolutely. When you held up the capacitor there, and you mentioned that some people might be a foreign object. I'm thinking, it looks like something Doc Brown would have at the Back to the Future. The flux capacitor.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I can make it sound as complicated or as easy as I want to, and it's very simple. I mean, there's not that many parts in an air conditioner to go bad.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a sealed system. It's very, very simple. It removes
Absolutely.
humidity. That's all it does.
Let's go ahead and ask the REQB, Jason.
Yeah, so our first question today is actually going to come from Jim via Facebook. And please check us out on Facebook.com/The Real Estate Quarterback Show. And the first question was, I really need to purchase a new AC unit, but I don't have the cash to cover the whole thing. Is financing really an option in air conditioning sales? It
absolutely is, Jason. And I'm glad you asked that question, because we do get that in the field a lot. Well, that's really kind of a pricey option. I really can't afford, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, whatever the case may be. And a lot of times, $300 or $400 could kind of set you over the edge. Do I pay the mortgage? Do I eat this week? Or do I get my air conditioner fixed? And we can understand that. They do offer financing. There's a couple of banks out there. Their rates are very good. They've actually got financing at 0% for up to 18 months now. So, if it's a matter of time that, my taxes are coming next year, I've got some money coming in, a lot of times people will choose that 0% option. But like I said, even on a routine part, a couple $100 fix, a lot of times it's my credit's good, but my funds are not very good. So, we can work with you as far as part replacements, simple fixes, maintenances, replacing of the unit. We can do whatever you want, and we do offer financing, and they have financing for perfect credit and not so perfect credit. So it's not, well, I don't have a perfect credit score. Am I still able to have air conditioning in my home? Yes, there are ways around it. There are many different financial institutes out there that do loan money to people. So
that's great. And I think that's huge on another side, because it really is like the most expensive appliance in your house. And so in turn, you're right. Do you watch your kids sit there and sweat to death, or do you shell out the $5,000? And so it's nicer that there's another option out there that can actually help.
It's that education as well. I mean, you walk into Lowe's, Home Depot, you go to buy a mattress set, wherever you go, and they offer financing for just about everything else. Yeah. But they advertise it a lot, and you're going to a store where they're proving to you, hey, we advertise right when you walk through the door. We're not going to call you and say, hey, I know your air conditioner's broken, and we offer financing. Yeah. If it's needed, we do offer it, and it's fairly simple with okay credit to get approved. So,
and here's something to talk about as well. When adding that real estate twist, again, a consumer advocate tip here is there's things out there called a home warranty. We work with Laura Vetter with Home Warranty of America that they will have, basically think of it as an insurance policy on your major components of a property. You know, so the air conditioning is covered in these cases. So you might want to look at it, especially if you're a homeowner out there and you've been in a home for a while and you're kind of in the back of your mind, you're thinking, hey, something's going to go wrong here soon. You know, reach out and we'll put you in touch with Laura Vetter for $300, $400, $500. She'll be able to put a home warranty in place that's going to cover for 13 months any components of the property, major components that would go wrong. And great opportunity there for to reach out to Laura Vetter, Home Warranty of America. Do you work with those companies like that, Justin?
There are some companies that work with us. A lot of them have their preferred vendors that they've been in business with them for 20, 30 years. A lot of them are a guy that has his own company, his own license, and he just works for them, particularly no one else.
Right.
So that's they do have some pretty good qualified people that come to your home. So that is a good option as well.
Let's go ahead and try to get that question in for Adrian as well. We got an Ask the REQB. And if you want to ask the REQB questions, you can hit us up at Twitter. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook.com/Real Estate Quarterback Show, RealEstateRadioTampa.com. There's a form you can hit to submit. Comes an email directly to me, and my promise is to get back with you before my head hits the pillow.
So our second question is actually going to come from Sylvie today, and that comes actually to the RealEstateRadioTampa.com. And that question is, what is the difference between organic and natural? I see a lot of labels out there. It's a little confusing.
It's very confusing, especially since nowadays natural can mean just about anything, because even high fructose corn syrup is going under that natural heading now.
Oh, great.
So it's organic by FDA standards in the United States. The food has to be transitioned over to where the soil has been chemical-free of pesticides and chemical fertilizers. The seeds have to be non-GMO, which means non-genetically modified seed.
Yep.
Like I said, the chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides, all have to be free of that. So when we're talking organic, you're not having the toxins in the foods themselves. So natural is just a heading, and it's just
like
a
a
word
buzzword
these days. It really, really is.
Yep.
It's nothing. Organic is when we're getting into natural, the way things were for our grandparents or our great-grandparents. And you could probably even ask your great-grandparents, or if they're still alive, your grandparents, they didn't know what organic was. It just wasn't there. And then if we're talking animal product, then that also means that they haven't been raised with any hormones or any antibiotics as well.
Yeah. And in the next segment, we're going to have an offer. The feed,
and their feed for the animals is also non-GMO, and it's natural. And
you think about the whole chain. You got to think about the whole chain. And
yes.
So we're going to have an offer from Adrian when we come back in the fourth quarter here, fourth segment. We're also going to talk about the real estate boom not over. Blackstone expert says. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, RealEstateRadioTampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Appreciate you listening or watching our TV show. Shouts out to USF Bulls. I'm a former USF football player, and I'm getting excited. I think we're like 8 or 9 weeks away from ball season. Got a call from Trey Hackett, one of the assistant head football coach over there, working with some of the interns and looking to get in real estate. But shouts out to the Bulls. Hopefully they turn around here this year, get at least maybe 7 wins this year, maybe, my prediction.
That's the hope.
Early prediction, yeah, that's the hope. That's right. And shouts out to Smart Move Moving and Storage, the official moving partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, and also Manny over at Electric Today, our electric partner. So got a couple of hot listings I want to touch on. I've got 9154 Yellow Lake Drive, Newport Richey. This is a $725,000 home, and this is actually a national award winner in the world of masonry. Beautiful concrete structural brick home, beautiful opportunity, Golden Acres, 4 bedrooms, 3 and 1/2 bath at Yellow Lake Drive, Newport Richey. We also have 4 Oaks Road. I got the corner of 4 Oaks Road, 2 acres, 4 Oaks and Gun. Perfect opportunity to build a commercial establishment at 4 Oaks. It's 12203 4 Oaks Road in Tampa, Florida. And 0 North Jasmine Avenue in Tarpon Springs. Beautiful opportunity here. Again, it's an opportunity to have a design and build property at $399,000 in beautiful Tarpon Springs here in sunny Tampa Bay, Florida. Okay, let's go ahead and swing it back over here to Adrienne Falcone Godsell, the food whisperer. She's a holistic personal chef. And so let's talk a little bit about the offer that you wanted to bring today.
Oh, I just wanted to share the health and make things fun at the same time. So what we're doing is I have paired with PRP Wines, which offers preservative-free, no added sulfite. So we have healthy wines.
Nice.
Yay. So I'm offering a personal in-home cooking class with wine pairing for 4 to 6 people for only $100, and it's typically $240 plus groceries. So
wow.
You get your food, you get your wine, 4 recipes, fast, simple. You have a different kind of dinner party going on.
That's a great offer. I'll tell you, I appreciate you bringing that to the show. And for the first 3 listeners who want to take us up on that offer, go ahead and text Health Chef or Health Coach to 813-917-1894. Text now to 813-917-1894. Take Adrienne up on the offer of a home cooking class PRP wine pairing for 4 to 6 people. Typically, it's a $240 value plus groceries. So talking about in excess of $300 here for $100. So great opportunity. I appreciate you bringing that.
Thank
and
you.
Also Justin Matthews, co-owner of And Services.
All right, Brendan. Now, what I'm going to do, we've been talking about maintenance and how important it is. I'm going to throw a special offer out there. A lot of times when your system breaks down, the company is going to charge you between $59 and $159 just to come to diagnose the problem.
Yep.
I myself like to be proactive. If I know there's a problem on the arise, it's about to happen, I would rather replace it now without having to worry about service fees or anything like that, and to get it cleaned. I mean, you need those coils cleaned, you need everything taken care of. So what we're going to do today is $34.95 inclusive of all taxes and labor. That gets you a 60 to 90 minute full cleaning and inspection of the inside and outside unit of the air conditioning. And we also are going to give you a biocide treatment, which is like a fogging going through your ductwork to kill off any potential hazards that are in there for $34.95 complete.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Another one for the first 5 listeners who go ahead and text in now. Text to our Consumer Advocate Hotline. Text And Services or AC to 813-917-1894. That's our Consumer Advocate Hotline. Text in now at 813-917-1894. And we're going to put you in touch with Justin Matthews of And Services. Go ahead and be proactive and stave off some of those problems before they happen. So we are entering the lightning round. All right, this is the lightning round. Top consumer advocate tips, things to do, things to avoid. Adrienne Falcone Godsell, the food whisperer. You're up first.
Things to do, I would say add exercise along with that, eating healthy. So, avoiding those 5 evil baddies, the high fructose corn syrup, MSG, bleached white flour, artificial sweeteners, refined and processed anything. Get those 3 pieces of whole fruit in every day. And then all you need to do is get some veggies and you have it all there. And add that exercise. I know it's warm, but you got early day and you have late evening time to do that.
That's right. And you could even do that in your air conditioning.
In your air-conditioned home.
Yeah,
Justin.
exactly. In your cold AC.
And he said that he even works on 30 and 40-year-old air conditioners, which I'm one of those. So it's good to know that someone actually still will take care of it instead of being told, oh, no, we don't do that anymore.
That's right.
So,
you can do that at home.
Yay!
Push-ups, crunches, all that kind of stuff. You can do
Sit
it
under
in
that air conditioner
air.
vent.
That's right. All right, consumer advocate tips, Justin.
And my tip is going to be just change those air filters. I mean, I'm as bad as the next guy. I own an AC company, and the last thing I want to do is work on my air conditioner when I get home. But seriously, change those filters. You hear a whistling from the air conditioning grill. Your electric bill's going up. It seems harder to keep that house cold. Change the filters. That's the simplest, easiest thing you can do. And what to avoid is that fast-talking guy that talks about things you don't know anything about, telling you need to replace your unit. If anyone ever tells you need to replace your unit, I don't care if it's 30, 40 years old, get a second opinion. And we come out there for free to verify that whatever you were told is accurate 100%. So just get that second opinion. It is a big decision. I know it's grueling and it's hot in the home, but always get that second opinion.
That's right. Yeah, and Jason, let's also talk about this real estate boom not over. Blackstone expert says, and U.S. commercial real estate is in the midst of a big foreign investment boom that is likely to continue. According to one prominent expert, China is leading the boom, but money is also coming from Canada, Norway, the Middle East, and elsewhere. Jonathan Gray, global head of real estate at Blackstone, said at a conference here presented by CNBC, while under other circumstances, a big inflow of foreign capital might indicate the market was about to tip. Gray said that's not the case this time around.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest parts of that is that, you know, back in 2007, 2008, when we did have, you know, the crisis we had before, it kind of stemmed from these subprime mortgages that really destroyed the residential real estate market, which then in turn kind of poisoned the commercial real estate market. The leverage really didn't exist, at least as highly in the commercial real estate market.
Right.
So today we don't have that high of leveraging in the residential market, and so in turn, I think that will help, you know, not to have that type of bubble in the commercial real estate space.
Yeah, agreed. There's not all these pick a payment loan programs, these no income, no asset types, 125% loan to value,
50-year mortgages,
50 years
stated
came
income.
out, stated income, all that kind of stuff. And let's also talk about this, where we went. We're in unprecedented times. Again, we've had QE1, QE2, TARP, HAFA, all these different programs happening. We got lending rates, overnight lending rates at 0 to 0.25%. There's a lot of injection of stimulus into our economy lately. Think of it as that, or an athlete that's shooting steroids. They're hitting a bunch of home runs. You pull the needle out, all of a sudden the home run numbers go down. You think of the Mark McGuires, the Barry Sosas, all those guys. So we kind of came through that whole cycle. We're in a normal buying pattern right now. If we can keep appreciation between 3 to 6%, 8% in certain areas, I think we're in a healthy real estate market, and it's a great time to get off the fence and reach out. So what I want to do again for the first 5 listeners here is we're going to offer a rent versus own analysis. So for the first 5 people who reach out, what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to give you a spreadsheet that's going to show the amount of rent that you're paying versus the amount of money and the amount of house that you could be buying with that money. A lot of people are paying $3,000, $2,000 to their rent, which is paying their landlord's mortgage. They're not building up the own equity in their own property. They're not taking advantage of the appreciation and the tax write-offs. So let's go ahead and text the word rent and the amount of rent that you're paying to our Consumer Advocate hotline. Text rent and the amount of rent that you're paying now to 813-917-1894. That's our Consumer Advocate hotline. Text rent now to 813-917-1894. Take a step, live a better life, and let's leave a better legacy for your family and get into that home ownership game. It's not the same as renting a property. You could show up and at some point the landlord changes his mind, or, worse, you could be one of these folks that the landlord's not paying the mortgage. All of a sudden you get a sticker on the front door saying, hey, you got to vacate in 30 days or 6 weeks, whatever the numbers might be. So, hey, another great show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Check out our TV show as well. We're on This TV Tampa Bay now. Making some exciting moves, and my quick consumer advocate tip is live in a state of gratitude. Live in a state of constant gratitude. Be grateful for what you have, and don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have, and live with expectancy. Great expectancy. Every day of my life, I'm thinking about what the next thing's going to bring. Every corner is going to come around. Quality introductions are going to happen, and it's happening here. So we love it. We're having a great time. RealEstateRadioTampa.com.